Okay. Okay, good afternoon. So, any one of you thought about this? What it is? Anything what we can do in this about the physical ergonomics? Any areas that you can think or correlate with respect to your the present work in which you are associated? Anything? Any application?
Using the laptop also while typing, it says continuous work and the rotation of our finger typing again and again.
So, what actually you want to analyze there?
So some keyboards around right now, they have some type of elevated surface on the back side, so the palm should rest on it, or else we have to keep our palm straight. So we can analyze how much
But
angle
we have to maintain this neutral position, na? Okay.
Force right during the task is different in both the cases.
Hmm.
As the variation of the keyboard is different, the forces is different in both the cases.
So what design changes you will do? Like let's say that you are analyzing the keying, okay, keying that keyboard. So you are just typing something, and that what you are going to get, and what modification you are proposing based on the results that you are obtaining.
change the angle of we change the angle of keyboard stand.
Angle of the
The
keyboard.
size of the keyboard, the more vast, the more difficult, the more concise, the more easy.
Okay.
Not so much also, but there has to be a perfect size between the two spots and two position.
But nowadays we are going for a compact products. So although that maybe like if it is little bit wider, the keys will be the little bit wider, then definitely means we can completely that hit that for pressing. Okay, but what about if its size will increase then?
So there are some small instruments available to raise the wrist.
Yes.
This little.
Okay, and those who are in industry, so this hand arm vibration may be related. Know what type of actually the work you are doing there?
This vibration part,
Is that vibration part is related to the work environment where you are working right now, or only the postures are important there, not the vibration or the forces?
vibrations are important, but we are not currently directly involved with this kind of measurements
Okay,
because the height.
no, not the measurement part, but the workspace point of view. Where it can be applied means are you exposed to this kind of the environment in industry?
Yes.
So are you handling this any vibrating machines there?
No,
What which?
like the step diagram replaying are cables are there.
Okay.
So they used to operate in the open storage area.
Hmm.
So they are facing lots of vibrational resistance in their cabin,
Okay.
working cabin. While they
Working.
are operating,
Okay, whole body vibration. So,
lots of
do we have any idea about that the seat pad accelerometer which I was talking about yesterday? Seat pad accelerometer, like something we are keeping on the seat, we are sitting, and through which the vibration which is passing to our body, that we are calculating. So have you ever used that? No. Okay, fine. So now, like based on this discussion, you can now think in that direction. Okay, how to correlate this when you will go to the actually the vibrating any environment. Okay, let's say so. This was the part of one part of the design. Okay, now uh, in today's class, we are going to discuss about the anthropometric design principles. So again, anthropometry is uh, highly related with the human factors. Okay, so maybe some of you might be knowing about the terminologies. Okay, so basically the when we are analyzing or studying this anthropometry, so there are two different parameters or the two different ways we try to describe it and try to understand it. One is the body growth and the proportion. So what basically the body growth and what is the proportion in our human body? Okay. So do you have any idea related to this body growth and proportion?
सर डिजाइन मतलब कई बार आर्ट क्लासेस में बोलते हैं कि 8.5 हेड्स से बनता है बॉडी.
8.5 say, like those who are design drawing actually, drawing. So that part is there, that is the purely drawing part. But here what we are basically this body growth and proportion we are studying. So let's say that we are studying about the human factors. That means we are designing some kind of the parameters which, or the some kind of the interactions with which the human being is going to interact. So when we are designing, so that time we have to understand that what basically the body growth and what basically the proportion is. Okay. So in human body, the different parts are there in human body, right? And every body parts doesn't grow in a same, it does not follow the same growth rate. Okay. Like the growth rate which from childhood to the adult, what the growth the hand follows, the same growth is not there in our fingers or the palm. Okay. Or other ways. So like the trunk position in which it is growing, in the same way that the head growth is not there. Correct. So the growth is different, and for it is unique for each individuals. Next is the proportion. So again, proportion is specific for the human being. Okay, it is in a particular proportion it is varying. It is not like it is abruptly following any pattern. Okay, if it is following the out of the way pattern, then that is some kind of the abnormality in the human being. Correct. So this is the body growth and proportion with which the two things that we should consider. So another part is the somatotype. Somatotype is nothing but the body type or body dimensions. Based on that, the physics of the body, how human being looks like. Okay, based on that classification has been done. So ectomorph, mesomorph, and the endomorph. So this scientist William S. Sheldon in 1940s, he basically first time used this terminology called the somatotype. And after that or afterwards, like all the nutritionists, the physicians, doctors, so every medical lines the people were using to like suggest the dietings. Okay, the what are the nutrition quantity they want for a specific body growth or the body to achieve the body growth. Yes. So this is the body type. So based on that is classification there. Again, what basically the diagram is showing. So this is from the three different range is showing, that is the infant to the childhood, and childhood to the puberty level. Okay. So maybe it's like 0 to like infant is the newly born baby, we can say. Then childhood something like to 4 to 8, then 8 to 13, maybe the puberty, where the basically the body changes takes place. Okay. So now if we talk about the body growth again and the proportion, so all the body growth or in a different age, okay, with and the different gender, how the different body part grows and when it starts differentiating. This is information is required when you're designing some particular product that is required for a kid. Okay, let's say that we are designing you have seen the pram or the baby walker. Okay, so if that particular product is there, so that is not differentiating about among the is a baby boy or is a baby girl. Okay, why they are not discriminating? Because if you will see this particular anthropometric data, so you can observe that up to 10 years of age, okay, the height variation and the weight variation among the boys and the girls is almost similar. Okay, so that much differentiation is or difference is not there. Okay, so only the preferences will be like the aesthetics part from the parent side, right? So maybe like if I am buying for a baby girl, then my color preferences may be different. The shapes which are printed there, that may be different, but that is going to selected by the parents, not the in general about the body dimensions. Okay, so the same type will be available in the different colors, different patterns. Okay, so there the body dimension is not considered. But what about the college? Like that is also, let's say that the something for sitting purpose, okay, of the kids or the infants. This is the table chair arrangement. Again, when you are individually designing the chair and when you are designing the table chair arrangement in a combination, then there are so many parameters that changes. Okay, when you are designing alone chair or separately the chair only, then there are provisions that you can move your chair bit forward or backward, or for going inside in a row or coming out from that particular place. But what about when it is a fixed arrangement, like table chair arrangement generally in the classrooms which we see? So it is a fixed arrangement, so there is some specific amount of gap is there in which we have to enter, and from there only we have to come out. So what are the parameters are changing here? If you are like after sitting, your knees are touching to the desk, so you can little bit move forward, okay, or keep your chairs forward. But what about in that case when it is fixed arrangement? So these are the parameters that basically changes. So this is one application. What it is? It is basically the cleaner floor for floor cleaning purpose. Okay. So now what type of like we are studying the anthropometry, right? So anthropometry, I will just discuss what anthropometry is. Before that, I want to discuss like there may be like different parameters of the human body. Okay, and in human body, some parameters we are considering in a static position, some parameters we are considering in a standing position. So here, although the application is same, that means the cleaning the floor, but the devices are two different dimensions are required, right? So in one, the operator is in a standing position, in another one it is the sitting position. So the dimensions which you require for designing the same product is different. Okay, so that means irrespective of the like although there may be the same type of design or the application you are selecting or for product design, but it is not necessary that a fixed set of informations only you require. Okay, it depends upon the creativity. Like earlier people might thought कि only in standing position it can be done, so they must have analyzed only the standing anthropometric data of the human being. Later some modification came and they thought कि okay, why to stand always? Okay, because these legs are not designed for standing always. Okay, it's not the earlier days, is the present era we are doing or using the for multiple purposes we are using our limbs. Okay, it is not only that we want to eat food with our limbs and we want to run away when there is some danger. Okay, so that was the purpose of the limbs in ancient time, but it's not now. Okay, like we are operating so many machines with our limbs. Okay, so these are the applications which requires or functions the same thing or designed for same purpose, but the dimensions which is required are different in these two. Now we are moving to the definition. So as I told the ergonomics, so ergonomics in the same way, the anthropometry is also a Greek word, combination of the two Greek words, that is anthropos and metron, that means nothing but the measurement of the human body. Okay, so measurement of the human body means it's not like you are making any scratch or cutting in a body, but it is the outer dimension measurement. Outerwards you are taking the measurements. And the data which you are receiving, that is called the anthropometric data, and you require this particular data so that you can ensure that the machine or the environment fits the person. Like whatever be the data, let's say that this overhead projector is there. Okay, so whether it is comfortable, okay, to operate. If I am having the remote control for this, then it's perfectly fine. I need not to go there and I have to press. But if like missing remote control, then I have to stretch all the times if I want to switch it on, if I want to operate it. Correct. So this is the mismatch. The physical size of the person is somehow related to the ability to function. So this is basically related to the example which I was quoting. Okay, physical activity which we are performing, the functions which we are performing, that is related to the size. Maybe for the taller person it is maybe fine, but for the shorter person it may create the difficulty. again the mismatch. If there is a mismatch in the body dimensions, then the efficiency will decrease. So same way you can take the example again, like if it is at the convenient position, so easily it can be performed. If it is away, then the person needs to stretch or put some extra effort to carry out or perform that particular activity. And this anthropometry or anthropometry is the universally accepted the word, as well as this the techniques which is being used. So at a very low cost, simple the measuring tapes or the scales, you can take the measurement of the body, or because we require the outward body dimensions only for designing the human related parameter like products. If I talk about the classifications, then the basic classifications. Okay, so structural anthropometry and the dynamic anthropometry. So what basically the structural anthropometry is? Structural, as its name is suggesting, structural means static. That means body is not in motion, body is at static position, and in that particular position you are taking the measurements. Again, the structural one can be in the seated position or can be in the standing position. Whereas in the functional one, functional means nothing but the dynamic. Dynamic means some parameters which is going to change. But what parameter in body will change? Okay, the length is not going to change. Then what is changing? The length or height is not going to change. Angles, like angles or the joint angles basically. Okay, which and depends upon like what are the constraints are there, and based on that we are defining the degrees of freedom of the human body. Let's say that I am standing in front of this, so my hand movement can be up to this particular point only. But if I am staying away from this, then I can move my complete hand. Okay, in the same way, if the constraint or unconstrained, so constrained sitting position, unconstrained sitting position, constrained standing position, unconstrained standing position, this could be the multiple parameters that you have to consider. Swept area, that means how much I am able to cover. So that is again, so in that swept area also there are two different things. If I can reach my hand up to this particular position, so whether this particular area is calling the swept area, but what is the position where I should keep something which I am going to use. So based on that we are creating the envelopes, and that envelope is defined in two parameters, basically the allowable zone and the preferred zone. So what basically the allowable zone and what basically the preferred zone? Allowable zone is nothing but up to which you can move or stretch your hand or any limb, whereas the preferred zone is without any extra stress. Okay, you can reach up to point, like I can stretch up to this particular point, so that means this is my end point where I can keep something. But whether every time stretching this much is a wise decision? No, maybe somewhat here. So always that the preferred zone will be the inside the allowable zone. Correct. So it depends upon like which particular motion you are considering. Let's say for the shoulder movement. So shoulder movement will give one envelope, that means the two envelopes for the allowable and the preferred zone. In the same way, like depends upon like what motions you are considering. Okay, so which joint you are considering. So these are the some parameters that basically you are going to calculate in structural and the dynamic. So it's okay. So reach and angle of variations that already I discussed. Now this like you were discussing about in a previous like design, universal design, right? So what basically the universal design is?
One design which is fit for all.
So whether it is possible always. What basically the universal design? Universal design means it is fitting all. Okay, but whether it is possible. So again it depends upon the type of the product and the applications what we are designing, whether it is feasible or wise decision to design that particular product universally. Okay, so these are some anthropometric design parameters are there. Based on that, or principles are there based on which we are designing. So first design principle is the design for extreme individuals. So again in design for extreme individuals there are two parameters, design for maximum and design for minimum, correct. Then design for adjustability, design for average user, and design for different size user. So when one particular principle fails, then we go for the other one. When the another fails, then we move to the other one. Okay. So what are the dimensions and what are the basically the applications are there. Okay. So in the design for extremes, so like when you are drawing a straight line, so there are some extreme points are there. Okay, in a line. So end points. So that is basically the extremes, and that extreme is depends upon you, like how much the population you are going to consider. ठीक है, it can be between 0 to 100, it can be any number. Let's say that one end is 0, another end is 100. So in between that, what is your extreme end? Okay, how much you want to consider? So design for extremes, or again as I said, so design for maximum and design for minimum. Design for maximum means you are designing for the maximum side. That means you are utilizing the 90th or 95th percentile. Again it depends, okay, type of the product, 90th or 95th percentile. If you are designing for maximum, then it is assumed that the below that everyone can use. Okay, we cannot design for like universal means what, it is 100%. Okay, but that is the hypothetical. It is hypothetical. We cannot accommodate everyone. So we have to select some range. So either 90, so like doorway height or mattress or the bed, okay, or the elevation of the overhead conveyors, like the industries, like the overhead conveyors are there. So at which particular height it should be installed. Okay, let's say that in a machine shop the conveyor belts are there. So they better know what are the things or the machines which are going below that particular area for maybe the carrying something, loading or unloading or transporting one materials to the another place, from one place to another place. So they know what are the different machines are there which is going to pass from there.
But in our design, can we add the customization for the user or for the whosoever is using according to her or himself, he can customize something.
You can customize something, but not everything. That's what I am saying. You can customize, but not.
Part of the design, but not the whole design.
That's what the products. Okay, let's say that what it is in the doorway's height. So let's say that this doorway's height cannot be customized. ठीक है, like this is the classroom where we do not know that who is going to come. Correct, we do not know who is going to come. In general, who is going to come in a college? College students. What is the maximum height could be the college height is to people? If we talk about the Indian context, 6 feet, that too is rare. Okay, so if you are taking 6 feet height, so that means you are considering sufficient range. Okay. Okay, that means a population size you are taking, size you are taking, considering, and out of that the 90th percentile data you are obtaining, and you are saying that what is the maximum height of this particular group who are basically going to utilize this facility or who is going to come. So if the maximum height person can come in and go out, that means the below that everyone can easily come and go out. Right. In the same way, the latch position or the door handle positions, what we generally see in our hostel rooms, okay, or in our the doors which are there in our house. So how we used to place or fix that particular positions. It is the reverse case. So, design for minimum, because in a hostel room it is not always the taller, maybe the students will be going to accommodate there. We cannot guarantee that. Somebody's height may be less, maybe the shorter height, right, short heighted. So, we have to accommodate them also. So, it is not like a latch we are providing at the top of always in the door. They may not feel comfortable every time to use that particular position. So, that is why in between or the bottom or the door handle height which is at the middle. Okay. So, there are two different parameters in the door itself. One is the door height, another one is the attachments or the interfaces which are associated with that door. So, it requires both dimensions, design for maximum also, design for minimum also, correct. The kitchen cabinet height. So, earlier you might have observed like the overheads. Okay. So, the in earlier days when the kitchens were, the overheads were prepared, so used to have the handles in the middle or at the top. Nowadays just at the bottom just they provide in the grooves, so that the short heighted people can also easily open that one, correct. So, this is for the design for the minimum. So, minimum is able to operate that. So, definitely the maximum can easily can operate that one, okay. So, this is the thing. Then design for adjustability. When the design for extreme cases fails, that time we go for the design for adjustability. Okay. In the design for adjustability, we are considering the in between all 5th to 95th percentile of data, adjustable seats, adjustable tables or adjustable whatever. So, so again like the chairs you might have seen, the application point of view, we cannot keep everywhere the adjustable things, okay, because if adjustable concept comes, means it automatically inherent to the cost. So, economic parameters comes into picture. So, we cannot make everything adjustable, okay. Like in a particular cabin or in a room, you will see how many the adjustable chair. Let us say that you are visiting your professor's cabin, okay. So, how many chairs you will see or observe like it is adjustables, whether both side where the students is sitting or whether the professor is sitting? No, because professor is one who is sitting, but other side there may be the group of students may come, and every year it is keep changing, okay. So, that is why it is a constant and we cannot provide that, okay. Then design for average user. As I told, there are some economical part comes into the category of the adjustability. So, in general we design the average people when we do not know what are the population size is there, whether we should design for maximum or minimum, and the cost is such a big parameter, we cannot go for the adjustability. Like the staircase site, okay, we cannot customize it, we cannot make it adjustable. We do not know what will be the maximum or what will be the minimum user. So, it is a standard, okay. The rows which are there in a like stadiums, okay. So, is a standard. The checkout counters in the different shopping malls. So, these are also based on the average user height. Then the design for different size users, okay. So, different size users, the basic example is the clothes, okay, because cloth is something which we do not want to compromise or we cannot compromise with it, okay. It can that is why one particular type of the dress comes in a different sizes, correct. So, it is the for different size user different product is there. It cannot be like you are also wearing the same product, the other is also your sibling is using. It cannot be the same. Okay. So different size users means the for each individual what is the body dimensions, according to that you are making the product. Okay. So over and above these design principles, there are some common sense principles are also there. Okay. So that also we have to consider. Again, it's the application specific. Okay. So the importance principle. So based on the importance principle, like the most important the parts which or the item should be used, that you are keeping in the most accessible location. Maybe like you are making a table chair arrangement. Okay, basically it is showing the positioning of the different stuffs that you are keeping in your place. Let's say that you are having a workspace, and what are the things that you want on your table. Correct. So you cannot keeping everything there. The most frequent, the most important things only you are keeping there, otherwise you are keeping aside. Frequency of use principle. Frequency of use means the most frequently used item should be in the most accessible locations. That means the thing which most frequently you are going to use, that should be in the nearest, like the allowable zone and the preferred zone which I told. So preferred zone is somewhere and the allowable zone is somewhere. Okay? Here is the preferred, that is the allowable maximum. So this nearby you, which is the frequently used, you want to keep there. In that other zone, that is the allowable zone, you are keeping which item is not frequently used. Function principle. So those items which are having the similar kind of functions. Okay, so maybe that 2 days back morning you were having one YouTube video with the other professor, right? Like with Professor Gilbert. Okay, he was showing that one particular person was trying to make tea, right? Do you remember that one? So this you can correlate with that. Okay, so he was just scratching his head. Okay, where are the stuff for preparing the tea? Okay, it was just he was holding a kettle. Okay, then he reorganized everything. Correct? Do you remember that one? So this thing you can correlate with that function use. So what are the functions? Like in your kitchen, you are keeping the that spices at one particular places, food at different location. It's not that mixing the food and fruit, everything you are not jumbling and keeping at one particular location, or you are not keeping the spices with that. Okay, for everything you are keeping a separate fixed the separate locations. So that is the function principle. So what a particular function is there, according to that you are keeping or grouping your items in your workspace or workplace. Sequence of use. Sequence of use is nothing but in which particular order you are going to use the particular stuffs which are there in your workplace. So it's not necessary like everything you are using or any order you can use. Okay, basically that requires like workspace arrangement. Okay, like if one particular product is there and that particular product is, let's say that 3-part product or the 4-part product. Okay, what basically the 3-part and 4-part is? That means it is having the one particular product is made up of the 4 parts or 4 components. Okay, so which particular component you should first try to assemble, so that you are going to get like in the assembly line process. Okay, assembly line units, that is basically very useful. So how they are arranging, so these 2 parts should be first joined, then with this particular combined one the another part should come. If you are aligning or trying to fix the other 2 parts, then you are inserting, that may create the problem, right? Like example, if we will take that the pen. Okay, so pen, there may be like different types of pens are there, but let's say that one pen we are considering with which having the 3-4 components. So in that refill is also one particular part. So refill, when you are going to insert that refill inside the pen, correct? So it's having a specific position where you require, after let's say that the front end and the middle one if you are joining, and after that it requires, not that the middle one you are having, then you are inserting the refill in that. So, it will come out, correct, or maybe let us say the top is there for capping it. So, these 3 parts or the 4 parts is there. So, after that you cannot keep the refill, correct. So, is the sequence of use principle. So, in which particular order it is going you the minimal time or the optimum time it is giving, according to that you are keeping. So, this is basically for the workspace design. Earlier one was the principles based on the anthropometry or the body dimension of the human being. This is about the workspace design, the stuffs, the items which you are having or using based on that. So, when you are performing the anthropometry, so like we saw that different types of the data. Let us say that static positions you are obtaining some data in a statical or structural anthropometry, same way the dynamic. But what about or how you are going to do that, how you are going to reduce that, and how you are going to use that, and why you are going to use and where you are going to use. These are the questions. Okay. So, data collection is the process of like gathering the information, correct. So, in the same way for the data you are collecting the data. So, let us say that you have collected. So, there may be the multiple methods, depends upon your the type of experiments or the requirement, you can use any of this. So, data collection. So, first one is here the 5 different techniques is shown here. Basically, the closed-ended survey. Closed-ended survey is again divided into, any doubt? Closed-ended survey again is having the two different subcategories, that is the categorical or the interval. Okay, categorical means yes no type. Okay, this interval or the ratio type, like while after purchasing in any commercial sites, if you are purchasing online, then you are giving ratings 5 star, 2 star, 1 star, no star. That is nothing but the interval. So, already you are having a particular range, and out of that you are giving the marking. Yes and no is straightforward, whether you are liking or not. It is not something like I am liking it little bit, I am disliking it little bit. Okay, that questions also can be prepared, but then again it will be in the interval, like slightly or moderate, like that the number of options which we are giving. Then the open-ended survey or the questionnaire. Open-ended means, so first one was the closed-ended. Closed-ended means you do not have the options to say from your side, but in this open-ended basically you are asking about the opinion, correct, liking, not liking, what you are not liking, what you are liking. So, you are writing there. So, this is about the open-ended survey. So, these are the different techniques of getting the informations. So, mostly used when you are performing some kind of the experiments. One-on-one interview, again based on the, like that depends upon the product which you are preparing, then you can do one-on-one survey. Let us say that I am interested to design a particular product for the male candidate, then I require the one-to-one interaction with whom? So, that is also the focused group. Okay. Then the focused group means, let us say that I am interested in the male, the kid or the adult, then that is the focused. So, focused group means who is basically going to use it, correct. So, it is not key I am designing a particular product for the male and I am asking the or taking the review of the female, then my data is not good or correct. So, and the direct observations, direct observations you are not asking, instead of that just by visualizing or with your own experience you are observing something which is functioning in front of you, something which you are seeing in front of you, and based on that you are recording the data. Now, as I told the focus group and one-on-one survey, so that focus group, if you are not taking the correct data from the focus group, then it will result to the faulty data, and when you are ending with this faulty data, then there may be some problems in your end design. Okay, let us say that I asked you to use this particular doorway height I asked to design, and you have not taken the data, correct data of the all the populations who are going to use it. Okay, you said ki okay, I have less time, I just only measure the 50% of this, and 50% is sufficient data, I will design based on that. But the population size was given to you and you have to design with respect to the maximum, but you design with the minimum. Then when actual time of use will be there, that time the maximum height people is not able to come in or go out, then the design will fail. Correct. So that is the distorted finding we are saying, or impact of the faulty data. So impact of the faulty data is going to lead with the wrong product. Okay. Again, when you are designing it's for a particular product, so it depends like how much it is going to impact. Okay. So there are different types of the products is there, and based on that there are severity level associated with that particular product. Okay. So let's move back to the 5 years. Okay, 5 year down the line, the vaccine, COVID period, right? So that was something which is developed. Let's say that that is the product. Okay, that particular vaccine. So they must have trial first. If they have not trial, then because the everybody have taken that particular vaccine. Okay, so just see there, if the faulty data was there associated with that, then what will happen, the end result. Okay, if I am designing a particular table, chair, there may be like I can little bit maybe casual, but when it is associated with the life, let's say that airplane aircraft cockpit design, okay, so many people are associated with that only. If one particular faulty design is there, it's going to have a very high impact on the human being or the economic. Correct. So depends upon the type of the product that you are designing. In that way, the role of this faulty data plays important or bigger role. As we are getting the data, so all the data we cannot use. Okay, or let's say that I am keeping in front of you the hundreds of data or thousands of data, then you are not able to make anything out of that, the thousands of data. Then you require the sorting of that particular data in some particular form. So for that you are using the statistical techniques, that mean, median, standard deviation, something like that. Okay, that is basically giving the representative or a particular significant quantity based on the overall the bunch of the data which you are having. So data reduction again, so these are the some other needs are there, because if I am keep on just collecting the data, thousands of lakhs of data, because any survey or any kind of the sensor if I am using for measuring the data, then it is going to give me thousands or lakhs of data. So then the storage problem will be there, then it will increase the storage capacity increase means decreasing the efficiency, that you can easily correlate with the system which you are using, computer system or the laptops which you are using, just full it, then just see the performance, that is nothing but the same, the impact of the data on the system. So these are the needs why we require the reduction in the data. Hypothesis, do you know what is hypothesis? Hypothesis is general statement or it is different? Hypothesis is a general statement or something else? Hmm? A testable prediction. Okay. So hypothesis means it is not tested. It is not tested or proved. Okay. Something where uncertainty is there. It may be, it may not be, but it's not guaranteed. So that is the hypothesis. It's not a general statement. ठीक है, दिन के बाद रात होगी is not hypothesis. It's right, something like that. अगर मैं यहाँ से गिरूंगा तो मुझे नहीं लगेगा या लगेगा, it's not hypothesis. If something is, if I am falling from here, then definitely I'll get hurt. Correct? No, maybe less or maybe more, that depends कि from where you are falling and how you are falling. ठीक है? So that depends, but it is going to hurt you. So this is not the hypothesis, is a well known, something where there is some question mark is there. Okay, unpredictable things are there. Both chances are there. It may happen also, it may not happen. So that is nothing but the hypothesis. So hypothesis is an educated guess you are making about something in the world around us. It should be testable either by experiment or the observation. In hypothesis, there are two types of hypothesis. One is the null hypothesis, another one is the alternate hypothesis. Null hypothesis means you are having the set of the data and the means are same. You are having set of the data, means are not same. Alternate hypothesis.